Hi, everybody. This is Dawn from another Dawn production, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to show you guys. This is actually much bigger. I got this really long earring. There was two, of course, from Hobby Lobby. And I turned it into four different pairs of earrings. The first ones that I made, and I just think these are so cute. These are the first that I made for the ladies in the office here at the complex where I live. Those are the first ones that I made. Those are going to be for the manager because she really likes black. And this will be for the assistant manager, which I put some little bellflowers and some little pink crystals. And I can't remember the name of this other little pink stone. It came in one of the boxes for Bargain Bead Box. And these are just those hand painted porcelain beads. And also, there's a lady at my church who absolutely loves blue and white together. So that was a no-brainer to make her some. And pretty much all of these supplies I have gotten from the Bargain Bead Box. And so I did go ahead and put one together. Well, I put the others together too. But I'm going to put the very last one together and show you how I did that. So the supplies that we're going to be needing, which you can use whatever kind of beads that you want to dangle in between the leaves. I really like how it's doing like a little peekaboo when they're dangling down, which I'm going to show you step by step how I did that. So the tools that you're going to be needing are some round nose pliers. Oops, so sorry. Round nose pliers, some chain nose pliers, and of course your flush cutters, which, because I'm on a very strict budget, as is most of the planet, I get all my tools from Harbor Freight Tools because I found out that they have a lifetime warranty on their tools. So whenever my flush cutters go dull, usually they last a good 2 to 3 months. I just take them up there, give them my phone number, and they give me a brand new pair of flush cutters. Because I didn't notice it until I bought 3 packages, and one of the associates pointed out that there's a lifetime warranty. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take it off this ear wire. Because I'm just not a big fan of this kind of ear wire, to be honest. And through some trial and error, I have discovered. Actually, I'm sorry. First thing I want to do, I like to go ahead and wire wrap everything that needs to be wire wrapped. And so for this design, there is, I'm going to pull you up a little bit. There, that's better. Now I can actually see what I'm doing. And so whenever I'm going to be doing a cluster, I go ahead and get all my wire wrapping done. It's a whole lot easier if you do, in my opinion. And so I already went ahead and wire wrapped 5 of them, and I thought we'd do one together. So you just go ahead and thread on your bead. And I use my round nose pliers because I like the loop to be really, really small. So I put it all the way to the very end of my tool. I wonder if I can scoot this over there. Let's see if that's going to work out better. That way I hopefully won't get out of frame and I can see what I'm doing. I'll put those over there out of the way. Okay, so as I was saying, I really like my loops to be as small as possible. So because of that, and I also like as little metal presence as possible. I want the beads to get all the glory. So I use my round nose pliers as close to the end as possible. Just bend it over 90 degrees, rotate it up, bend it over the top, rotate your pliers, bend it over to the other side. And also I like to give it a little look, make sure that it's centered, and see if I can get it to focus. See how small that is? And then that tiny little space that's right there. Because I only want to get about 2 wraps. Just something to get it secure. Also, I like my wraps to be really neat. So I go ahead and just bend. I personally don't like to hand wrap. It, well, it's not 100%, but a good 95% of the time I prefer to use my pliers. But I'll go ahead and give that bend. That way I know it's right up there at the bottom. Because I notice if I wait and try to use it, then sometimes it gets wonky. But if I bend it a little bit first, then I know I'm going to start with a nice clean wrap. I go around halfway, and then halfway, and halfway. And see, I just have these beautiful, really neat. Hang on, let me get it to focus. These nice, neat wraps. Now we're going to come up with our brand new flush cutters that are working awesome. And just snip off that excess. No, really, I'm going to snip off that excess. You want to make sure that you don't tip your bead. There we go. Okay. Oh, baby. That's a cartoon I used to watch whenever I was a kid. So now, I did try doing this in a couple different ways, and I finally just figured out that the easiest thing was to pretty much take it all the way apart. So I'll start with the bottom 2 leaves. And take those off. Take the rest of it off. And now we're going to add our bead to one side. Whenever you're making a cluster that's essentially, a lot of times you have a bottom drop bead and work your way up. But with these leaves being so thin, I'm using the 2 leaves and then putting 2 beads, one on either side. I need to clip my fingernails. I made a pineapple upside down cake earlier, and I think I've got some cake underneath my nails. That's embarrassing. I should have double checked my nails before I got started. Please forgive me. I'll fix it in just a second. And go ahead and close up that jump ring. And we can lay that down. Yep. Nothing like a little bit of cake batter underneath your fingernails. And we're good. Okay. Sorry, guys, but I just probably should have paused, but I didn't think of it till just now. Now, once I can find where the split is, there it is. Yep, there it is. We're going to open this up. I was doing this in the hardest way possible, if I'm being honest. And that's whenever I finally figured out that you always want to make sure to go right in between where you still have your leaves and your two beads. And you go up to your next level. So I'm going to put my leaves back on. That side. And this side. Being careful to make sure that I'm putting them, because there is a front and a back, so you want to make sure that you're putting them on the correct way. And add our bead. And add our bead. And close that up. Sometimes, whenever I'm closing my jump rings, I'll come up this way and give it a little smush. And that has a tendency to a little trick that I learned from Wendy Whitman. You can use an eye pin or a wire so that way you don't lose your spot. Just go ahead and put it on there. That way it's easy to find which jump ring that you're going to go to next. And now we're going to go to our next level. I'm sorry, you guys. I usually have a magnifying glass, a lighted magnifying glass that I really rely on. Okay, there it is. I hope that it didn't get too dark by me moving that. Yep, that's in the right spot. I'm going to open that. These jump rings are amazing. They're so strong. I wouldn't mind having some more if I knew where I could get just this kind of jump ring. So we're gonna, oops. Okay, so now I'll put this back on here. See? Voila. Okay. Now we're going to put our leaf back on. And our other leaf back on. And now we're going to put our bead on. And put our another bead on. That's actually our last bead, and see how cute that is? I just think that's so cute. And you can stop with as many levels that you want. That's the best part of being a designer, is it's all up to you. Some of these had only 3 levels, but a couple of them have 4. Sorry guys, I gotta use my magnifying glass to make sure it's good and closed. I keep trying out different glasses to see the ones that are perfect, but I think my eyes are getting tired if I'm being honest. And we gotta flip that bead over there. Okay, and the last level. For this one though, I am going to switch out the jump ring because I don't want I'm going to a smaller jump ring. That way there's less metal space dangling down underneath. Or there's not much, I said it wrong. Not as much distance from the bottom of the bead to when the cluster starts. I wanted to shorten that. So we're just taking these off. Put that to the side. I'm going to get my 4mm. I usually give it a little smush because you know how they're usually not straight. And we're going to just loop that on. Well, I think I'm doing this in the most awkward way possible. Okay. And now we're going to put on our last little leafy. And the other leaf. Come on. And I'm going to go ahead and put on an eye pin. And close that up. I just want to take a quick peek. And you want to like push together and wiggle back and forth in order to get a good closure. Yes. I don't know if y'all can see. Let me see. Did it focus? It's just not straight. And I really, really like those to be really straight or together. There we go. I don't know if you'll be able to really tell, but see how they're more seamless and put together better, lined up together. So now I got these really cool bead caps that I love. It reminds me of the Tin Man's hat. Hang on, let me get this to focus. Reminds me of the little Tin Man hat. There we go. What I like about these is, especially for these porcelain beads or any big hole beads, because this does have a pretty good sized hole in it. So it goes right in there. Boom. And then your bead is a lot more stable. And especially whenever you put it on the other side. So now you got double whammy. It just goes right in there and sits like that. Now I'm going to put my little bird. And she just sits right there in her little nest. I just think that's so cute. And because I wanted it to be a little more stabilizing, I have this teeny tiny little bitty crystal that I'm going to put on top. And, ooh, looky there, I did it without having to use my magnifying glass. So, now we're just a wire wrap away. But see how those beads just do a peekaboo and they match the porcelain bead? I think those are so cute. So we're going to do, once again, a tiny little wrap loop. Bend over the top of the pliers, a right angle. Rotate up and over. Rotate your pliers. And around to the other side. Check your loop. Make sure it's all in alignment, and it's not. So we're going to push it over just a little bit more. Put that down. Much, much, much better. See there? And now I'm going to change pliers. Bend this over. Go ahead and get the head start on the wrap. I think I've got my camera down too low. That's why I'm struggling. And then around once. And around twice. Into that space. And voila. Now we're going to come around here and cut off that excess wire. And there we go. Now we just need our ear wire. And we have another set of these cute little springtime earrings, which a lot of folks, they don't like to wear the bright colors. Me, I personally wear a lot of black. And so this is a way to have such a springtime theme, but and not your traditional, bright springy colors. Actually, I want to straighten that loop up. See how it's kind of crooked? I want to straighten that up just a little bit. Much better. Much better. I hate it whenever that little ball falls down. Now we got on our ear wire. And close that up. Now you're ready. I just think those are so stinking cute. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, hit subscribe. Once again, this is Dawn with another Dawn production. And also, I'll be putting a link to the Bargain Bead Box. I do know I filled out an application to become affiliate. How exciting is that? I haven't checked my email today to see if that has come back, so I have a discount code for you guys. Hopefully coming soon to a theater near you. Anyhow, I've got another. I think I'm going to try to go ahead and film this. I know there's a live coming on pretty soon that I don't want to miss. My best good friend Dominique Rochelle from Dominique Rochelle Jewelry. She is going to be on Blue Sapphire Studios here shortly. So that'll be at 7 Central. I'm here in Texas. So, but I wanted to show you guys. I made this tassel, and I want to make a very boho feminine, but yet feminine necklace with it. I don't know, maybe some. Anyway, I showed this to my roommate. He said it looked like fish and lore. Anyway, boys. Anyway, I hope that you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Thank you once again for joining me. Happy beading.